Hi guys, my name is Ashley Travers and I am a real estate broker. I'm licensed in Missouri and Tennessee and now Florida. And we just got here and this is my husband Brian and we have a lot of things we want to talk to you guys about today. So this is the real side of real estate. We're going to do a little bit of everything with everybody and I think you're going to find it somewhat entertaining, maybe a
Hopefully.
little bit.
If not, oh well.
Oh well.
Everybody shake, 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 shake. Everybody shake, 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 shake.
So let's just get right into it. We've been together for like almost 15 years. We have 2 kids. We're very busy people. We're both entrepreneurs, self-employed. We homeschool our children. I have a real estate brokerage in Missouri and a real estate brokerage here now that I am running. And Brian is on the investment side of real estate. So back at home, he was a rehabber. How many houses do you think that you rehabbed?
I'd say 60.
No, more than that.
I don't know. I didn't count.
We've lost counts. But he's been, how long have you been doing that?
Since...
Well, start with like your first one.
First one was out of college back in like 2006. And then the market crashed in 2007, 2008. So I got lucky. Didn't lose anything on that one. And once the market kind of crashed, the flipping was no more. So I went into law enforcement. And then I was a police officer for almost 10 years in St. Louis. And then got back to flipping in about...
Wait a minute. You also married me in that time.
I thought I was telling them the important facts.
Funny.
17, 18, I got back into flipping and found a crew, great crew, had them the whole time until we moved here a couple months ago.
Just literally 4 months ago. Like crazy, right?
Yeah. It was nuts. We had 3 houses to get rid of in basically a month span and we made it.
So there was like all this like bogus like chatter around when we left and like so many people want the tea. Like they want me and Brian to like spill this massive story that something really cool or crazy or bad or good went down when, honest to God, I lost my grandmother and the market was shifting in Missouri and we felt it. When you rehab for a while, like you'll probably answer this better. Like how was our mental? Like your mental, I know how mine was. Let me rephrase. How was your mental whenever we started to really feel that shift coming in? Like how was your mental when you on a day-to-day basis at the very end before we left Missouri to come to Florida?
Extremely stressful. I think in the first couple of years, everybody knows, and real estate agents and lenders and everybody that was in the market, it was crazy. You put a house on, you're 10 offers deep within an hour. So we could tell that started to change when, I get done with the house, it looks brand new. You're only getting maybe 1 to 2 offers and they're not way over. And then after the next house, then you're waiting a week or 2 to get an offer and they're not even coming in at full. So we knew at that point it was starting to change and
the stress happened. Honestly,
you have a lot of money tied up in these projects and time. So you have a number in your mind, and when you don't hit that number, it can be devastating. Depending on how much you have into it.
Which we were very lucky. We never lost anything. We never even broke even. We always came out ahead, which was good.
Our numbers were very realistic.
We were very realistic.
Didn't try to
and
get
we were
rich
smart.
off one house.
We were smart about it. And I think that's the big thing about the temperature of the market and knowing that. And I'm going to get all this boring stuff out of the way because everybody is the main character in their own story. And I don't want to bore you guys to death, but you need to know some of this before we keep diving into other topics. And I think the biggest misconception with investors is it looks so easy. Like, well, let's just go in and we just buy this house. We'll get some kind of structured financing or a portfolio loan. We're going to buy an ugly house. We're going to put new carpet in it. We're going to paint the walls. We're going to, put new appliances in it. And then we're going to sell it for $150,000. Like you see this stuff on TV, like the shit that, Christina and Tarek or whatever his name is, they do. And that's not how real life works. And when you are trying to make a career path out of this, and it's not just a 1 or 2 time thing, and HGTV is not behind you following you around with the camera, plus you have 2 children at home, it's a totally different market. I'm running a brokerage, we're raising our kids. It's constant stress. We were exhausted, honestly. We were just sick of it. So when we came to South Florida, everybody's like, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? I think that's another misconception. Our marriage is very, very different than most people that we know, right? Like we work together.
Oh, yeah.
We spend almost all of our time together. People think that I'm holding him hostage sometimes.
Sometimes.
Funny. But really we just are best friends and we enjoy each other's company that much. It's just kind of worked that way since we got married. Like we're just best friends. So like we don't mind hanging out with each other. However, when you're in the dynamic of both of us being in a real estate industry, and as everybody, I'm going to be the type of person that's going to be a straight shooter. The real estate market is different. I don't care what anybody says. I will be the person that's going to, or the broker that's going to tell anybody and everybody, whether you're in a real estate centric service providing industry or not, the market is different, period. And not necessarily bad or better, it's different. And we knew the temperature of our market. When my grandma passed, she was the matriarch of the family. My mom retired at the same time, and it just made sense for us to move to somewhere where if I was going to have to rebrand, restructure, and rebuild both of our companies, why not do it under the palm trees and in the 85-degree weather in Southern Florida? Not to mention, the market here is booming. So it made sense. There was no other weird issues or anything going on behind the scenes. I wish I could give you guys something cooler, but I just don't have it. What's the funniest thing that you think that you heard when we left of all the things? Like when you leave your hometown, like a small little hometown, and you move across the country, the rumors and the speculation, they're wild. Like, they were wild. Like, my favorite was that when my grandma died, we got $10 million. And so we relocated to Boca and we didn't have to work anymore. Yeah. So Grandma,
Nice.
Where were you on that, Grandma? That was
there's so many of them. I quit paying attention. Honestly, it didn't bother me. I was like,
yeah, there was a lot of them.
People are going to say what they say. So
it really was nothing more than just like temperature of the market changing. Things were shifting. The timing was right. So here we are. Super fun. So like the police thing, let's talk about that because that's always a big thing. We're huge law enforcement supporters. Why am I doing a podcast? Okay, so when this all was like starting, I thought it would be cool to have a podcast to kind of show newer agents. I'm not a big like recruiter. I'll never recruit agents. And I don't want a giant real estate brokerage or company. I never have. That was never the goal. But I don't mind helping people because I still have a very successful career. I've slowed down a bit because I was able to do that, but I never wanted to have like 60, 70 producers. I just wanted a family style boutique brokerage. And I thought a podcast would be cool to tell all of the newer people that have been getting their license because obviously when the market's great, everybody runs in, grabs their license. It's not that hard to do. And then they just jump right in. But there's a lot of stuff that other brokers don't tell you about that I'm going to tell you about throughout all of this. And I thought originally I'd start there, right? Like originally the real side of real estate was going to be like the good, the bad, the ugly of this industry, what you need to do and ask for and how you need to do it and the best way to go about building your business. I'm not even going to get into that because that's like what everybody is doing right now and they're making a good amount of money off of it and I don't care about any of that. What we are going to do and why we are doing this is because the way that people are marketing and branding is changing. You used to kind of like sit on your couch or like in your bed and you'd watch TV or like a show, but that's not the case anymore. Like everybody's on their phone. So this is why you're going to start seeing so many podcasts coming out. People live on their phones and they're going on to these YouTube channels and TikTok and all of these platforms. And this is what they're watching. So I want to be in front of people so they can, number one, just get to know me, especially if you're in South Florida. I want you to know that I'm not like a sleazeball and that like I actually know what I'm talking about and that I'm going to be a very good representative for you. And I want you to meet my husband and my family and know a little bit about him and what we do and why we do it. Also, I think it's important to bring in a lot of the people that we meet because we meet some cool ass people. Like we really do. We're good at shooting our shots with the right ones. And if they've got awesome things that they want to like bring in, I want to be able to help highlight them too. Because in my mind, I feel like when you are successful or you want to be successful, the first thing that you need to do is help other people be successful too. There's enough business for everyone and there is enough, there's fun in it all. Like everybody can have a fun time and getting to know each other. And we've really met some great people that do some cool shit and I really want to introduce them to you. So that's why we're doing it this way. And to get back to my original point of why I just told you all of that, it is his law enforcement career. So he was a cop for almost 10 years, like he said. We've got St. Michael's Army is a 501c3 that we started like 2 years ago almost now.
Yep.
It's basically, how would you best describe it to other police officers and police families?
Police officers in St. Louis know, for officers maybe in the surrounding area where we're at now, it is in St. Louis, we have a program, it's Backstoppers. Backstoppers will assist families if an officer is killed in the line of duty.
Or catastrophically injured.
Right, paralyzed, anything like that, can't go back to work. Backstopper steps in, helps pay off the house, the kids' school, tries to alleviate a lot of stress and worry from, the wife and for the kids.
Or spouse.
That's what I said, wife.
You said, yeah, well, there's
Okay,
other.
spouse, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You have to be political.
Yes, I'm working on it.
You're going to get us canceled.
I'm working on it.
You're going to get us canceled before we even get started.
So what we do with St. Michael's Army is we wanted something in between there where you don't have to be,
in uniform. So that was
basically that's the base.
It was catastrophic or killed in the line of duty, or and the other side of it was that you had to be in uniform. So we looked at it as like that's an amazing program. Great. Amazing.
It helped. It helped a ton of St. Louis.
They
officers.
do very, very well. What we were noticing is that as a police family, when he was making $1,200 every 2 weeks, and I was at home with 2 kids because their shifts are 12 hours, is that more?
And we didn't have retirement. When I was in the game, there was no retirement unless you put money out of your paycheck into retirement. And at that time, 2 kids, and a family, you can't do that. That wasn't even feasible.
It was crazy.
It was tough.
I never slept. I was so tired all the time. But really, we thought, you know what? Let's start something that's going to benefit those who need smaller grants or assistance. Like they need smaller things, or like they're not in uniform and something happens. So, for instance, to give you a high level of what we've done, we've helped people with blue line families with like small plumbing issues, or like smaller bills, credit card bills that may be from a sick animal or a sick kiddo that was like a deductible that wasn't covered. But we've also had major fundraisers for police officers who have kids that end up with cancer. We've had an 18-year-old who had cancer, and we've had a 3-year-old who had leukemia. So we did some really cool fundraising stuff for them. So we have that down here, and a lot of the guests that you see me bringing on are going to be people that are helping in that line and that network, because I think it's really important that if they're going to help us out and we're going to start really doing some effective fundraising for that we highlight them too. So you'll get to meet a lot of them. So that being said, with the St. Michael's Army stuff, that's just a little bit about us. Again, I really just kind of want to get you guys to know us, because I think everybody's a realtor right now. Everybody's in real estate. And one thing I'm noticing is like when you even bring the word real estate up anymore, people are like cringing. Like it's like used car salesman. Like it's like, don't say those 2 words together. Don't say real estate. And it used to be like a national pastime, but now I feel like everybody's super annoyed by it. Everybody's a real estate agent. That's not what we're here to do. We just want you to get to know us. And if we can help you along the way in certain things, then we would love to do it. Brian here has come to South Florida and had to be very patient with his wife as she has gotten Samani Real Estate open. Samani Realty LLC is the brokerage that we have opened in South Florida. I opened it with a partner of mine who is an absolutely wonderful human being. He's a commercial guy. He does almost everything that there is to do. But I have been working on getting the residential side up and going. In the meantime, my husband has been home. How's that going?
It's great.
With the 2 kids.
Yeah,
because
great.
they're homeschooled. So
it's great.
Yeah. You really like it, huh? He hasn't jumped off of the roof yet. That's exciting. Like, I feel like you're still with us.
It's great. Did I say it was great? Because it's great.
Super. He's done very well. I did this as fast as I could. I'm done. It's built. We're ready. Anywho, so now that started, everybody keeps asking us, why not invest in South Florida? Why aren't you investing in South Florida? Because if you know me, you know anything about me, and you're going to hear this. If you don't know me and you get to know me, you're going to know investing is like the best thing to do ever in real estate. However, you have to be smart about it, and you have to know your market, and you have to know your timelines, and you have to know your money and your budgets. And there's like 9 million moving parts into going into an investment, especially in a new city, especially in a thriving metropolis where we're just getting our footing in. So no, we're not going to run down here and start throwing cash all over buying properties. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to be meticulous and calculated about it. So that being said, he was at home, and I looked at him and I thought, you need something to do. He is, he's already got all of his insurance, his LLCs, everything's going. So I'm like, why don't you just paint? Like, he's got a background in painting. His dad was a union painter for, I don't know how many years?
50.
Like a lot of years.
50.
And he's been around that and been painting the rehabs. I mean, that's one of the things like you did, right?
I worked
like,
on all my houses. I enjoyed it.
You painted every single one of them.
I painted every single one, yes.
You're very
but
good.
I did.
He's a very good painter.
I enjoyed
His
being
lines
over
are
there.
very clean.
Straight.
Very straight.
Arrow.
And I was very picky. So he's doing blue line painting down here now. So which is super actually relaxing for you,
Fun.
I feel like.
I enjoy it. Yep.
Really?
I get to meet a lot of cool people.
He's like really excited about this. Like every time he gets a call, he's been like really busy all of a sudden. I've noticed one of the things in South Florida, like if you can just show up, like that's half the battle. Like if you just show up to your consultation, you're like halfway there. And honestly, like you've been like, your mental has been so good here. Why do you think that is? What do you think it is for you? Like I know what it is for me. What's it for you? Why are you happy you're here?
So I can go paint and then just go to the beach right afterwards and lay out.
Yeah. All those people that told us, they're like, when you live in Florida, you won't even go to the beach. It becomes a lifestyle and you don't even know. I'm like,
it's huge change. St. Louis,
we for sure
winter,
go to the beach like every day.
You're locked in your house for 6 months. I mean, it's
freezing.
And
32
everybody,
right now.
you get the winter depression, and here it's just not like that. You can literally work and then go out and enjoy the evenings anywhere, dinner.
Vitamin
like it's just
D.
fun. It's
Vitamin D. I get so freaking annoyed because I'm down here now and I've been down here for 4 months and I'm like, not tan. You're still tanner than me. Maybe not after yesterday. Yeah. But it's cool. Like
good base.
Everybody told us that like we wouldn't do that, but we know ourselves. And that's something I think for everybody to look at. Like, you know yourself better than anybody. Like if you have a vision or a goal and you want to go do something, like I think after doing this, the biggest piece of advice I could offer to anybody would be like, go do it. Like, even if you fuck it up, go do it. Just go do it. Because if you don't go do it, you will never know what could have happened. And the worst thing, I told him, the worst thing that can happen is we get down here and then we're like, nah, not for us. And we just go back home. It's not that like crazy of a concept. But so far we've been down here and it's been absolutely amazing. I think it's also been for me, like just the like aesthetic change of just a new environment and the unknown. It's like reinvigorated my like,
well, 44
reinvigorated like the
years
word
in
that you
St. Louis,
use.
and we won't say how many for you,
Don't.
but plenty in St. Louis. So it was terrifying to come down, but it's
really
still
cold.
very cool. It's just it is a culture shock, and for the
way.
kids, it was great.
Yeah, you gotta, you know what? If you can,
I don't regret it.
If you can make a move like that once in your life, like highly recommend. Like, I don't know now that we've seen and done this that we would ever really go back to St. Louis. I think if it didn't work here, we would just like.
Oh no, I have a
new
list of
outlet.
places that.
Oh, you have
I
a
would
list.
love to.
That's
Yeah,
the first I'm hearing about that. Okay, well, it's gonna be a minute because the cross country move part did suck.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, but I mean. That's a huge thing. Another thing I wanted to talk about, we hear this a lot too, and I think it's really good input or feedback. I don't know which one, whatever one you want to take it as. Social media. I am like a social media, like I annoy people and I don't even care. I don't care because like social media in my mind, if you're going to be an entrepreneur in today's world and you're not social mediaing, is that a word? Can we make it one? Can we coin that? You're crazy. Like it's a free platform, several free platforms to like, go be you. And if I'm buying a product from somebody or using a service from somebody, like I'm going to go to their social media. There's a good chance that like, I don't know, 75% of the reason I'm going to use them is because I just like them. Like I just like them. We have similar personality traits. We have similar goals or missions or like just a cool person that I just want to help out because they're a good person. They're like a good human, genuine, authentic human being. Getting to know that side of people is easier using and utilizing social media because you can kind of get airtime in front of people that maybe don't know you that might want to meet you, you know? Well, why don't you have a social media, Brian? Why don't you have any social medias?
They don't let me.
Brian is not great at social media. Brian gets angry a lot. There's so much anger and hatred
I've tried. I make it for a couple days. They kick me off. And I'm like, yeah,
and then everybody thinks it's me. Like everybody, I love that because we're always together. And like Brian is like he's not that like, he's extremely outgoing, but he's like weirdly an introvert. Like he hates being on his phone. He hates like being held down by like a mechanism of any kind. So like social mediaing was never for you. I'm totally coining that term.
I hate bullying. That's just what it reminds me of.
And he would like see something and then like he would like attack and then get kicked off and we like finally just
not attack, defend. It defended.
But it was
I never start.
It was always like you were trying to be protective, which I love about you. He always will protect me like big time. But
called them telephone tough guys.
Telephone tough guys.
Like
keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors now.
Stop it. Okay. So he does not have social media, which this is a really cool, like for me as a business owner, entrepreneur, and a broker that has several advisors under me that I train and I coach. They're like new realtors that really have never done anything in the industry. This is a really crucial piece for me because I kind of am watching for the first time ever. He now switched from like the job that he was doing with investing back at home. Social media was totally a waste of time. There was there was not anything we needed from anyone. Like we were buying the houses and flipping them. He needed no presence whatsoever. But now Brian's a business owner. Like he's a business owner. So yeah.
Lots of painting.
Lots of painting. And he's very, very busy with no use of real social media. I mean,
no, I mean,
we have the page.
Posts,
we have the page.
From you, but not from me. Yeah.
We made like one community page. Like it's like I think it's just like a page. And like we put that in some of the closed groups and things, but he's not on social. And I think I'm looking at that. And I think there's a lot of people that can benefit from hearing both sides. If you are a business owner and you're not using social media and you need ways to do things differently, like if you hate being in the middle of all of the craziness that goes on, like he does, there's a way to do it now. And I do believe in it. Whereas before, I don't think that I did. So he's not on socials. What's another way that you feel like you're getting your business out there? Like, how are you getting as much business as you are? And I swear to God, if you're like, well, people just like me. Like, I'm so, like, we know.
Well, you just took my answer. What do you want me to say now?
I know. I knew you were going to go there. Like, but really, is there anything else that you're doing? I'm choking.
No, honestly, no. I mean, you show up, you do a good job, and I talk to people. It's just it's why I went into law enforcement when I did. I didn't want to be stuck in an office. I like being around people. So it's what I do.
He talks to everybody. Like we go to the gym and like I'll be done with my workout. Like I'll get my whole hour workout in and I'll be like sweaty and stinky and gross. And I'm like, let's go. I'm starving. And he will.
You just got done with my 18th conversation. So I'm warming up.
With the like 87-year-old in the corner. Yeah. Like he loves talking to the old guys at the gym.
They're great. All the retirees. That's usually the time that we went up. So
he's like an old soul.
They were all my best friends.
We went to dinner the other night and like I was going to go have one glass of wine and here's Brian goes and like sits down with this couple at this table at this restaurant we were at and like we ended up staying for like 3 hours. You have like a gift of gab.
You wouldn't know that from this.
No,
yes, this is my first time doing this. I
think you're doing great.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope it's not boring everybody.
Person to person, I'm much better at.
Yeah. I know, you really are. You have like a really...
These, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look. My hands, I'm moving my seat. I know, it's a lot going on in my mind.
Well, like, and again, anytime you do something for the first time, 9 times out of 10, it's going to suck. But then you just keep doing it and you just get better and better at it. And that's kind of what I try to teach a little bit to my realtors is like, anytime you try to do something the first time, it's not going to be your best work. But if you don't ever do it, you won't ever know. And then guess what, Brian? You could be...
Then you'll never know.
You would never know how great you would be at all of this. Are you going to invest again here? Do you want to invest again here? We haven't really had this conversation. Eventually, I'm a little scared of the answers.
Yes. From what I've seen, just browsing. And here's the thing, guys. I don't have social medias. My phone is actually linked with her phone. So I get to keep up with friends and stuff back home. I can just look on Facebook and Instagram. I don't have to like interact.
He means by that, he means he uses like my accounts. Like he'll just like
her account. I can look at pictures and see what people are talking about and
stalking all of you like behind your back.
It's easier for me though.
Creeper.
But from what I've seen just online, this place is so big. There's so many opportunities. It's so many different places. And a lot of them, you don't really have to get into like residential like houses and stuff. A ton of condos that people have been in forever
that's a thing here. That's a big thing here.
Completely not dated. They are dated. And I think here also there's no basements. It's another big thing. And where we come from, every house has a basement, and basements can be a huge expense depending on what happens to them. All basements crack at some point. Some let in water. Some start to tilt. Some cave in. Like you just never know. Here, that's a game changer too. So yes,
you do want to invest.
I would like to get back into it eventually. Yes.
That's good to know. What like advice do you have for anybody who wants to invest or flip? Let's wait on that question. Let's go to this question first. Mm-hmm. What's the most common misconception of a home flipper? Because when we say invest, we can get into like rentals, which we don't do any of that. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But like investing as a rehabber, like what would you say to somebody who was like, you know what, I want to do that too? Mm-hmm. Ooh, I put him on the spot. Let's see if he gives you guys any kind of a good answer.
you know, everybody when you first start, they're like, oh, it's not going to be anything.
So
and then when you
easy.
stort doing well, everybody's like, oh, wait a minute,
So
let me
easy.
look into that. I could do
I'm
that.
gonna do
There's so much to it. There's not one thing I could say. Your numbers have to be dead on, or
And how do
you do
you-
a lot of work for nothing.
How do you find those numbers that are dead on? Who helps you with that?
I just make them up in my head.
That's where you call me.
Yes, that's why we work together so closely
That's
with
where you
everything.
call me.
She finds them. She'll run the numbers, the comps. We figure out materials, and we go from there. My other big thing would be don't start big. Start very small.
Oh, that happens all the time.
People get stuck with big houses. Cost more money. More square feet cost more money. If you
And it
wanna-
goes so fast. Like, I remember being like in Home Depot, and like we were getting lighting fixtures for one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the little tiny like weird shit that you don't even think of. Like I especially never think like I don't do any home renovation, anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like the light like plates, you know, like what are those called that you put on the light switch? Light switch plates.
cover
Lights.
plates, and you get handles
But,
and
like,
hinges, and everything adds up.
Stupid shit that you never.
And
I was like, the bill came. Like we got done checking out, and I was like stroking in the line. I'm like, this is. Wait, what? Like I had no idea. I think a lot of times you just didn't tell me certain things, so I wouldn't have
I didn't tell her anything.
Oh, that's good to know. And in law enforcement, he did that to me too. It's been a great life. But yeah, that's so true. Like you don't realize how quickly that stuff adds up, and like you're upside down in no time if you don't really have help doing it. And I think a lot of people that jump into this, they just try to do it by themselves. They hear it from a friend, and they're like,
I think their number one big mistake is they underestimate the time frame that it's going to take.
yeah, we did that a lot, even at
Things
the end.
always happen. It always is going to take longer than you think it's going to take.
Cruise. Talk
And
about
you have to
cruise.
basically have the money to, even if you can get some kind of loan from a bank, you're going to have a payment. So unless you're just cash completely down here, which a cheap house to work on, it's probably $400,000 to $500,000 to buy. So if you have the extra $800,000 cash laying around and you can be without it for 4 to 5 months, great.
Well, and in this market, who
That
knows?
is not me. So,
yeah.
you know, even a loan though, you're paying on a loan, even a partial loan, you're paying on that every month.
Yeah, if you're
So
financing through a portfolio, you're going to have holding costs.
it's very
period.
tough. It's tough. The money thing is very tough. People all of a sudden are like, oh, I wanted to have this done in 60 days. And, you know, you're on day 90 or 100 and it adds up very quickly.
And then what happens to like us and the kids?
Then you
and like
fight your wife and you hate
she
your
knocks
kids.
your ass out every time too.
The stress goes into everything.
does.
So it's just it was a tough
It does.
lifestyle.
We had a great time doing it. We were very successful. We helped a lot of people. Like we would only employ like as many people that were police officer, like owned companies, or like former police officers that did certain things. Like, I don't know, what are things? What's the word I'm looking for? Like trades. Thank you.
Carpenters, plumbers, electricians, all those
we
guys are
tried to-
either blue or back to blue in some way. So
Yeah.
it was
cool.
fun.
Like and then like a lot of times if we would get multiple offers, you know, if there would be a first responder family, that's all him. There's nothing, these are his properties. These are not my properties. But he might say, you know what? I like the fact that this is a young new couple that's a firefighter or a police officer and they have a baby on the way and I want them to have the house. So we got to do that too. We also would buy homes from like, we were well known where we came from. So it's cool because we would like get calls from families of police officers or even like our interior network that would be like, hey, you know, so-and-so passed away. Can you guys just buy the house cash? We don't want to touch it.
And we could pay. We could
know,
pay a lot more than the big companies because I
were
did a
doing
lot of the work and my guys, and I knew exactly what the costs were going to be. So
Yeah.
that's why they would come to us if you were asking instead of like we buy ugly homes and just big companies that would come in and they're cash, but their offers are really extremely low. So.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot that goes into it. I think investing and rehabbing and all that is in our future still as things get going and we do it right. But I think in closing, you know, Florida is absolutely awesome. And it's not the only state in the United States that's absolutely awesome. I think the vision for moving forward with this podcast is to help as many people in the local area that have cool stories to tell, very good advice to anybody who is running around in the real estate circle. I don't want to say that this is going to be a completely real estate centric podcast because it's not. We have Ashley Milan coming in from St. Louis. She's going to be on the next episode. She's all about like mental health, mindset. There's a lot of that going on the internet right now. I think because 2023 kicked everybody's ass. Like if you're at home watching this, 2023 didn't just suck for you. like everybody we know had an awful year last year. And so I think that you're seeing a lot of people talk about their content is including like mental health and coaching and all of these like do this and feel betters and do that. Ashley has a great messages, but a very, very relatable way to say them, to speak them.
And she went through it all.
Yeah.
Like, she's been through it, and she'll tell you
it's
about
not
that,
this harshness, because like one thing I've noticed about a lot of content lately is it's like all or nothing. Like you do it this way or it's not going to work. And that's not true. There's a million different ways. I have agents that are totally different personalities than mine. They're complete introverts and they have no social media presence or no outgoing personality at all. They just don't love talking to people, and they're slammed busy with their own kind. Like there's someone for everyone and there's a situation for everybody. So it's never gonna be a one size fits all thing. And I think that what I've noticed that I want to be different in my content is that I want it to kind of touch everybody. Like, so if you're at home and you're thinking like my 2023 was hell, so was everybody else's. Everybody I know is like bleeding money, and like it's been very expensive and very like, I don't know what the like horrible year. So to have her come on,
it happened so quick. Everything
it
with,
did.
especially with a lot of our friends and family in the market. So a lot
Everything-
of people were making great money and
they were
bought
spending a lot of it
investments,
too. Yeah,
a lot of
like-
investments. And
yeah.
then when this happens, it happened really fast.
It did.
So,
It happened really fast, and it happened to everybody. And a lot of people feel it was very personal for a lot of people. So I think hearing from her is going to be really cool because, like I said, she's got a really good way of talking to everybody in the spectrum. So I think if you like just general real estate chit chat, I don't think it's going to be anything like.
it'll be a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
A little bit of
yeah,
everything.
that's the best way to say it. But yeah, I hope that
And
this.
hopefully we get some more out about our 501c3 as well. Because
we're totally doing
we'd
that.
start to I'd really like to get some stuff going here. And I have ideas, so I've been running it by some people.
You have ideas? No, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm like actually excited. Like this is genuine excitement. I didn't know you had ideas. You didn't tell me that you had ideas.
Yes, I have ideas.
This podcast is going to become like if you continue to be on the show with me, then it's going to become like a counseling, like a marital
Unless I replace you.
counseling thing. Which could very well happen. People totally like him better than me. Anyways, we look forward to the next one. I hope that you got something out of this and we didn't bore you to death, but we're Brian and Ashley, and this is us. So welcome to the real side of real estate, and we'll catch you next time.
Stay tuned.